There's a lot of videos with a smaller battery-powered unit. There's a brand that people see called Verisure. It's called ZeroVision, and it basically is a battery-powered unit with a cartridge in it that fires off fog. Okay, I'm joined here with Jack, who is from Smokescreen, and we're gonna delve into a little bit of the fogging systems that they have. So Jack, thank you very much for sparing some time to allow me to ask you some questions.
No problem.
One thing that I get, and when I post videos about the Smokescreen onto the social media platforms, some people say, oh, does it leave a residue on the products and in the room and anything there? Question I've got for you coming from the manufacturer itself.
Yeah, okay. So we guarantee our product is residue-free, but it's a little bit more complicated than it doesn't leave residue. So there's a couple of factors in play, and one of the critical ones is the design of the system itself. So we have a range of different sized machines that have different levels of capability, and depending on the capability of the machine would be suitable for different sized areas that they would be installed into. But what we're actually looking for is to match the capability of the machine to the area that it's in, so that it's not overloading the space with fog. We want to produce enough fog to fill it cleanly so that you cannot see anything, which is the idea, right? But also not leave residue. Overfilling an area could actually end up leaving residue. That's why we find it really important to design the installation, design the system to suit what it's being installed into. Because there's no point in spending loads of money on a massive machine.
It's an overkill then, isn't it?
Sticking it on the wall of a tiny little office or something.
Yeah.
Because you're just going to fire loads and loads and loads and loads of fog for ages, and then you're not going to have any more benefit.
Because it's going to fill the room out.
You're going to overkill it. Exactly.
Yeah, right,
so
okay.
A well-designed system is properly specified, which is what we try and help every single customer with, is making sure that they're getting the thing that they actually need, will never leave residue. And we've been doing that for 30 years and it's never happened.
So just leading on to that, if someone wants to look at getting a fog system, do you have like a design tool on your website, or do they get in touch with you, tell you, look, this is the size of my room or rooms, and then you'd come back to them and say, right, we recommend you to have X, Y, Z?
Yes and yes.
Okay, so you have a tool on your website.
On our website, we have a tool that you can put in the sort of the area of the space that you've got and what kind of space it is. So whether it's a home or an office or a warehouse. So you can say you might have a 70 square meter garage, you might have a 200 square meter warehouse, whatever it ends up being. And the tool can then give you a rough estimate of what kind of machine or machines you'd be looking at installing. But what we'd always say is, if you're unsure and you've never done it before, is come to us, call us, email us, whatever it is, and we can guide you through the process of speccing for it. So if it's the case that actually you just send us the plans, then we can look at the plans and go, okay, well, here's a few locations that we think would be the best for you. Or we'll come and do a site survey, and we would do that totally free of charge, which generally speaking is the best case.
Yeah.
Especially with more complicated installations. So somewhere like the NEC, we probably wouldn't want to go off of a drawing just because it is massive.
Yeah.
But we could certainly come down, take a look at it, and we wouldn't just take into account the size of the place. We'd also take into account the areas of most risk.
Right.
So it may turn out that for one case, we don't need to cover the whole building, we just need to cover entrances, or maybe there's a secure area or a safe area that we cover, and that would be the most important part. We don't need to worry so much about the rest of it. So it's all about fitting the system to the requirements and taking care to make sure that it is appropriately specified.
There's a lot of videos with a smaller battery-powered unit. There's a brand that people see called Verisure. It's called ZeroVision, and it basically is a battery-powered unit with a cartridge in it that fires off fog. Okay. Now, some people would say, why do I need a mains-powered unit like yours? Why can't I just get a battery-powered unit with a cartridge in it? What's the difference?
Well, you're not the first person to ask. I'm sure you've seen plenty of comments as well. And I've had people at the exhibition as well asking, why not? But realistically, and what I tell people is, it's a totally different class of product. I don't want to compare ours to a Ferrari, but it's like the difference between a Skoda and a Ferrari. They're both cars, they both have wheels, but they do two totally different things. So our products are all professional security products that integrate with any intruder alarm system or whatever system it needs to integrate with. And it works in a totally different way. So our fog is produced thermally. So we have a liquid bottle that is pumped into a heated steel block. And that steel block, the fluid evaporates inside of it. That's what produces the fog. So it's not smoke at all, it's a total misnomer. The fog evaporates and produces a big thick white cloud. So producing the fog thermally means it's just vapor, which means that it is totally food safe. Like we've talked about already, leaves no residue, it's totally breathable, it's not going to leave any damage to any of your furnishings or your food or whatever you may be. So generally what we try to say is we don't really want to compare because it's a completely different thing. It's not a competitor to us.
Jack, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
That's Smokescreen.